Hey everyone, and welcome. So, when a government needs to tackle a huge project, they often have to call in some outside experts. But how do we, the public, actually know if we're getting our money's worth? Well, today we're going to dive into the powerful framework that auditors use to answer that exact question. Okay, imagine this. Your city wants to build a brand new public transport system. Or maybe your local school district wants to figure out how to get graduation rates way up. These are huge, complicated problems, right? They often need specialized skills that a government agency just doesn't have on staff. So who do they turn to? You guessed it, they call in a consultant. These are the external experts, the pros who are brought in to lend their specific knowledge, whether that's in engineering or education policy or city planning. They are the specialists hired to solve a very specific problem. And this is the crucial part. Hiring these experts is not cheap. It's paid for with our tax dollars. So the multi-million-dollar question is pretty simple. How can we be sure that the advice we paid for actually delivered real, tangible value to the community? Well, the answer lies in a process called a management audit. And no, this isn't just about checking receipts. It's a deep dive investigation into the actual performance and the value of the consultant's work. And to do that, auditors use a really clear and powerful framework. So let's get into the auditor's toolkit itself. It's known as the 4Es framework, and it's a simple but really comprehensive way to measure the true value of these consulting services in the public sector. These are the 4 pillars that hold the whole thing up: economy, efficiency, effectiveness, and equity. Each one asks a fundamentally different question about how our money was used. Let's break them down one by one. First up, we've got economy. Now, this is not just about finding the cheapest option out there. It's about spending smart. It means getting the resources you need at the right level of quality for the best possible price. It's really all about being a savvy shopper, but with public funds. Think of it like this, like you're renovating your home. The economy question is pretty simple. When you bought your kitchen cabinets, did you shop around? Did you get a fair price for the quality you needed, or did you just overpay? An auditor applies that exact same logic. They're going to look at the contract and ask, was the price for this consultant competitive? Did the agency do its homework to make sure they weren't being overcharged for the expertise they hired? Okay, next up is our second E, and it builds right on this idea: efficiency. This is all about spending well. It's not just about what things cost up front. It's about minimizing waste. Are we getting the most bang for our buck from the resources, the time, the money, the people that we put in? Let's go back to our home renovation. You got a good price on the cabinets. That's economy. But did the contractor install them on time? Or did they take twice as long and waste a bunch of expensive wood? That right there, that's the question of efficiency. In the public sector, an auditor is asking a very similar question. Did the consulting firm deliver their final report on schedule and without asking for more and more money? Did they use their time and our budget wisely to get the job done? Now for our third E, and this one might be the most important of all: effectiveness. This is about spending wisely, so you can be economical and you can be efficient, but if the project doesn't actually work or solve the problem it was meant to, then what was the point? Effectiveness is all about the result. Did it work? Now, this is a really great way to look at it. It clarifies a really common point of confusion. Efficiency, that's about doing things right, following the process, staying on budget. But effectiveness, that's about doing the right things, achieving the actual goal. And that distinction, that is absolutely critical. So the auditor asks the ultimate "so what" question. The consultant delivered a traffic plan on time and on budget. Great. But did that plan actually make anyone's drive to work shorter? Because if not, the project wasn't effective, no matter how efficient it was. And finally, we come to our fourth E, equity. This principle asks if we are spending fairly. A public project can't just be cheap, fast, and successful. It also has to serve everyone it's intended to serve, without bias or exclusion. It's about making sure the benefits are distributed justly. Let's finish up our home analogy. Your new kitchen is beautiful. It was built on time and it works perfectly for you. That's great, but is it accessible to your elderly grandmother? Can a family member in a wheelchair even use the countertops? That is the equity question. And in the real world, this is where the stakes get incredibly high. The auditor will ask, did the consultant's plan for new city parks benefit every single community? Or did it only put new green spaces in the wealthiest zip codes? It's a fundamental question of fairness and access for everybody. So we have our 4 E's. But here's the key takeaway. It's not a simple checklist. The real work of a public servant, and the real challenge for an auditor, is understanding that these 4 principles are in a constant, delicate balancing act. I mean, think about it, right? The most economical plan might be completely ineffective. The most efficient solution could completely ignore the needs of certain communities, failing that equity test. Good governance is all about finding the right balance between these 4. And that's really why this all matters. The 4 E's framework is way more than just bureaucracy. It's a promise. It's a system designed to make sure that when our public money is spent on outside help, the ultimate goal is always to deliver services that are better, fairer, and more valuable for all of us. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. In the complex world of public service, where every decision means balancing these 4 principles, which E do you think is the one we can never, ever afford to get wrong?